Says we're live. Good morning. And I can say good morning because I made it just before noon. Good morning, everyone. My name is Sheila Corona. Welcome to Morning Mojo live. And I am live. Just so you're aware, if you are watching this on Sassy C or Sheila, it was live. This will be an uploaded recording. I am recording this so that I can upload it over on Sassy C or Sheila. And if you want to catch me live, I highly recommend that you are subscribed in both places. New Light Streaming Love, which is what this is, and also Sassy C or Sheila, because I never know until moments before I go live as to which channel I'm going to go live on. So I would like to say that I am planning. I really have been feeling the last couple of days to do another live intuitive hangout session. Trouble is, by the time early evening gets here, it just feels like my energy is just totally spent. So I am going to be either tonight, well, I should say later on this afternoon, early evening, or tomorrow. That one. Okay. I am going to do a live intuitive hangout session. And so if you would like to participate in that, again, it would be best if you are um, subscribed and hit the notification bell. Or if you don't want to do that, just come back and take a listen, check it out, see if I am live, because I just never know. And I'm not going to put myself through the whole scheduling and then I don't feel like it and I don't show up and I feel guilty and all that kind of stuff. I'm not going to put myself through that. Now, yesterday I felt to grab Journey Intuit's language of light activations, and I didn't do it. But today, as I was, because my cards are in such an odd place and I have this microphone hanging right here in my face now, I asked the cards to show themselves to me, and I pull them right out here in front of me. And again, that happened with Journey Intuit's deck. This is a pretty much one of a kind. Only myself and Journey Intuit have this deck, so it's very exclusive. There might be one other person, but I'm not sure about that. And so card number 11 and card number 16 came flying out just now. And let's see, card number 11, which an 11 numerologically is a master number. And let's just see what it is. Card number 11, trust your intuition. So I highly recommend, if this card feels like it's calling you, to pause it if you're watching it live or later. Pause it and just spend some time gazing into it. Because there is light language embedded in the art that's been channeled by our own Crystal Hemphill, Journey Intuit. And if I'm not mistaken, I want to feel like she has a design very similar to this one, I believe, on a t-shirt as well, which you can find by going to www.newlightstreaming.love and follow the Journey Intuit links, and you can find it's a very, very much like this. So what it says here, and these are channeled messages directly from her guidance. To keep the third eye energy center clear of blockages, trust is of the utmost importance. The third eye, being the center of spiritual awareness and intuition, is very powerful indeed. Intuition is that mysterious force that guides, informs, and even protects us. It can come in as fast as sensations in the body, gut feelings, or even a whisper. This activation is full of codes to align you to trust what it is that you are receiving. The encoded art is set full of intentions to not only clear and activate the third eye, but also to do the same for your other major energy centers, hence all the colors and movement. This brings in balance and stability for the third eye energy as they all work together. Activation will also help you to feel the difference between your intuition and fears. You are now being aligned with your higher self to receive exactly what you need at exactly the right time. All you have to do is trust. Wow, I love that for today because I will tell you, um, and I have to say, I had a wonderful conversation this morning, one I'm hoping that we can repeat, talking all about what's up today on planet Earth. Because when something's happening for me, and then I learn quite by accident that somebody else is actually also moving through this kind of energy, that to me is a sign that that is what's up on planet Earth. And so, I'd love to hear in the comments from anyone who does happen along this. Are you looking at yourself or someone else? Is the idea of judgment something that you're looking into for yourself or someone else? Is that theme up for you? Because I know it is for me. My own holding somebody else in some sort of judgment, and also feeling judgment from someone else. So it's very interesting to me, anyway, how it feels like that's what's up on planet Earth, at least today, right? And the fact that trust your intuition came up is actually telling me, well, more than likely that is what's up on planet Earth, because that's my intuition about it. That this is now an energy that not everyone will be looking into it or wondering about it or facing it, but I have begun to really trust my gut and my inner feeling, and that is a feeling that I have. So the other one that came out is love through time and space. Wow. Now that's really interesting to me on a couple of different levels. This is card number 16. So numerologically, it is a 7. And for me, 7s are all about divinity. It's just a divine number all the way around. Someone you have known before across time and space. Many relationships have been formed, some good, some bad, but every single one of them has taught you something valuable. You hold these lessons in your heart space. The relationship you share now with this person is ready for an upgrade to build off of the last. Will it be challenging? Yes. Will it also be worth it? Yes. For love of another is never a mistake. How could it be? The other is simply you. Allow this activation to speak to your heart. Allow for the wisdom from all timelines to be unlocked. This activation is asking you to open your heart to the fullest and feel love across all dimensions. Now, how interesting is that? If one is looking at within themselves the idea of judgment, the very first thing for me, I always remember that when I'm looking at talking to, dealing with anyone outside myself, which is really just another me, they too have had issues that may, like, let's say I am dealing with somebody that has a lot of judgment about me, right? That person has their own set of experiential filters and their own set of trauma that they are moving through, whether they're doing it actively, trying to get to the bottom of it and heal it, or they're just wandering around with all that trauma, hurt, and judgment in their field unresolved. It's still there. And I like the idea, actually, the knowing, really, for me, which is why I think it's interesting that this card come out, that this is not our first time. This is not our first dance around this rodeo. Wow. So I love that these two came out in particular for this, partially also due to the conversation that I had. And just so we're very clear, that conversation was with Journey into It, which, like I said, I was guided to grab her cards yesterday and I didn't do it. So since I was guided this morning, I thought, well, you know what? Now you got to do what you got to do. And I kind of feel like these cards are perfect. If I had, I couldn't have handpicked better cards. Okay, so let's see what the fairies have to say too. I would love to hear from you guys how you're feeling today, what you're moving through. What do you see that you know, that was the other thing that we sort of talked about is how things have changed, right? It's rather than waiting until one gets to be by oneself. We talked about the idea that doing shadow work, live action in the moment, for real, right now, as it appears. That is something that I've noticed for myself. I'm not waiting until I can be alone and contemplate and all of that. I ask myself in the moment, okay, wait a minute, what's that about? What's that about? Why am I feeling this kind of way? Why, what's behind that? And if I try to remove that from right here with me, I pull myself right back. It's like, now wait a minute, this doesn't have anything to do with them. Whatever happens, they can, do whatever and then move off because it is my reaction that I'm having. For me, to then sit and say, well, this person did that and this person made me feel this kind of way. Listen to that language. That's handing my power over to the other person. I just right there, live action in the moment, handed all my power over to them. My whole goal is to pull my power back where it belongs, to me. Where you are is where it's at. We're talking about doing live action in the moment shadow work. Where you are is where it's at, drops right out of the deck. Oh my gosh. Oh, I love it. I just love this life, man, and everything about it. Holy smokers. It also says, stay still until you are divinely moved. I like I said, I you can't make this stuff up. I mean, I guess I could if I sat and tried, but I'm sitting here live action, shuffling these cards right in front of you guys. My goodness. So, at any rate, if you want to participate in my next live intuitive hangout session, I would love for you to do so because that is how I practice hearing my intuition, hearing my larger self. And I would, oh, we had this card once before. Wow. Water, lake, and star. And we had another one, sky, rainbow, earth. Boy, I got a feeling this is going to be a big, big reading today. Big energy all the way around. Well, it just seems like all of them are as of late. What's up on planet Earth? So, I see that there are a couple of folks, here at the moment. Please don't be afraid to say who you are and where you're watching from. I would absolutely love to interact with you. Ooh, okay. Surrender your belief in scarcity. That's a big one, isn't it? And surrender all unhealthy relationships. Oh, wow. Okay. Yes, because that too is in the field in many, many ways, right? Wow. I love it when stuff starts coming out like that. That just finished having conversations about things like that for myself, and uh, observations are echoed in a reading for me. I just love that. Okay, one final card, and then we'll get to reading them, shall we? This one's from the Journey of Love deck. Wow. Okay. It's my understanding that we're getting a lot of electromagnetic stuff on the Earth right now from the sun. Oh, wow. Okay. So another card, number 16, Heart of the Moment. Doesn't that also sound like where you are is where it's at? Wow. Okay. So the Alchemy Elementals deck wants to go first because there was two cards for that. I can hear it shouting at me. Card number 35. What page are you on? Water Lake Star. Water Lake Star is on page 49, which numerologically, isn't that that's a 4, I believe. Yeah, page 49. Water Lake Star. Life isn't always unicorns and rainbows. Darkness has its way with all of us. And there are times when we are called to step into the unseen realms because there are lessons for us to learn there and parts of ourselves to develop there. And those times and those realms can be scary AF. Amid so many shadows and so much uncertainty, we don't always understand why we are going through what we are going through. Yeah, there's been a lot of times in my life where I've labeled something one way and then come to find out later, oh, it wasn't that at all, while I'm in the midst of it, right? But I'm here to assure you that your spirit knows exactly what it's doing and would never lead you astray. The light and the stillness that live in your heart always always knows the way. Follow that light, my child. It is leading you toward your greatest heights and your highest desires. Now is a time for deep trust. Well, that sounds like an echo of this card, doesn't it? Trust your intuition. I kind of feel like the readings of late have really been advising me, because these are my readings as well as the collective readings. Um, I feel like my guidance is telling me that something pretty unknown is about to present itself. Something that I will absolutely will require my trusting in my guidance wholly, rather than getting scared and running away. Uh, a la belief in scarcity, right? Like worrying about money and things like that. Because that's, that's in everybody's field. I don't care who you are. So the next card from Alchemy Elementals is Sky, Rainbow, Earth. Sky, Rainbow, Earth. It's on page 76. Sky, Rainbow, Earth, page 76. You know how some people have completely different personalities depending on whom they spend time with? I'm kind of, I think there's been folks that say I focus on one person. And now as a projector, I kind of get that. It's like the aura goes out and finds another aura. I don't know. I don't really claim to understand or understand that, but I heard the Rod, I don't know how you pronounce his name, Ru or something like that. I'm not quite sure, but actually said about projectors that if there's two people there, the projector automatically one automatically I don't know, doesn't like you or something like that, can feel that the projector focuses on only one. It was very interesting because I've had this happen my whole life. Uh, so, you know how some people have completely different personalities depending on whom they spend time with. Like they'll be really open and playful and silly when they're hanging out with you, but then you go to a dinner party and suddenly they enunciate differently and act all formal and reserved and quote magazine articles and pretend they don't watch television. Yeah, don't be like that. It is important to be yourself with people and to allow them to see and engage the many facets of you. Oh, wow. This is actually, again, that's part of what the discussion was this morning. It is only when we see ourselves, all of ourselves, reflected through the eyes of other people, that we can truly expand our awareness of ourselves. The act of being seen by others expands the spectrum of life available for us to experience, which allows our hearts to grow and our community to grow and our family to grow. It's like my ancestors always tell me, sweet rewards await the one who can accept the all in order to see self. Well, that makes so much sense. Part of my quest for to get to the truth of who I am involves being honest with myself, because I realized at the breakup of my 28.5 year marriage that I wasn't myself. I never actually allowed myself the opportunity to A, get to know me, my likes, my dislikes. I was always trying to fit into somebody else's mold, not my own. I really didn't know, and I'm still figuring out who it is I think I am. What do I like? What do I want? What part of me is okay with this over here, and how do I move through life? And so without being truthful with myself, and thereby also truthful here, uh how do I get to know who I actually am and what actually is going on? Right. So, wow, I love that. It is only when we see ourselves, all of ourselves, reflected through the eyes of other people, that we can truly expand our awareness of ourselves. And if I'm not myself with others, I'm lying to them, and I'm also lying to myself. I'm pretending to be something that I'm not. And I'm telling you right here and now, oh, I'm not doing that anymore. No, 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 no. No way, Jose, let's just say. But I'm done doing that. Period. End of story. Wow. Okay, then. Who wants to be next in this little? Okay, so apparently card number 14, which is a 5 numerologically from the Hero's Journey deck, which is all about change, by the way. Where you are is where it's at. Stay still until you are divinely moved. There's a quote here from Thomas Mann. Solitude gives birth to the original in us, to beauty unfamiliar and perilous, to poetry. Well, that's true, isn't it? By allowing myself to show myself to myself, thereby also to you, I'm revealing that beauty and that unfamiliar and, quite frankly, the perilous. The message with this card: when you feel resistance, it might mean you're not up to the task. Then again, it might mean that you are up to the task, but don't realize your own strength. Resistance sometimes serves to preserve your energy and keep you safe. Without resistance, you might maniacally say yes to everything, perhaps for fear of missing out, but right where you are is holy ground. From a quantum physics perspective, you are already everywhere, and everyone and everything is within you, which I totally agree with. We are all one and yet singular in nature. No way around that for me. When you realize this, there can be no fear of missing out because you really are already where it's at. Honor the spirit of resistance and know it will be with you through every step of your hero's journey. You've done enough inner work to know the difference between a yes and a no. It's wise to pause and consider your choices and actions with respect to your available energy, schedule, and resources. Wow. There's a dream symbol here of saying no. When you say no in a dream, you are being guided to release good and better to make room for best. Your dream's reward system lets you know when you are on track or when you have strayed. Courageous choices will be affirmed with pleasurable scenarios or feelings. When you are off track, you will find yourself in an unpleasant scenario or shouting no at an adverse energy. All of this supports you in living true to your most magnificent version of you. And there's a mantra here: I move when moved. Until then, I revel in the deliciousness of the present moment. Well, as a Libra who in times past have had such a terrible time making a decision, for whatever the reason. Sometimes it's fear of the unknown. Sometimes it's, well, if I do that over there, I'm going to lose out on this over here and those sorts of things, right? But just like uh feeling like no matter I've said recently, and I've been saying it, I don't think we actually make mistakes anymore. I really don't think that anymore. I think we could label it as a mistake in the moment because it feels like I made a mistake. Oh crap, why did I do that? Now I got to do this. But maybe it was, oh crap, this over here that I got to do, I needed to do. You see what I mean? It's like, for me, the whole idea that nothing is as it seems is a very real thing that really is part of what's up on planet Earth, too, you know? Okay, so it looks like the fairies want to come out next. Fairies Oracle by Brian Froud and Jessica Macbeth, and To Ohm the Poet, card number 29, which that one is an 11 as well. So we've had two 11s today come up. And To Ohm is part of the Fairy Guides and Guardians group. And the fairies are separated into groups uh, in their hierarchy, and he is part of the Guides and Guardians group. The key words for To Ohm the Poet are clear sight, poetry, erotic energy, laughter, not getting into serious mischief. For quite a while, as I looked at To Ohm's portrait, I really didn't have a very clear idea of this character. He looks so serious, so pensive, so thoughtful. But that wasn't the energy I felt coming from him at all. He had me baffled and fooled. Then my son, also a member of the Oracle discussion group, looked at him and noted, but he's wearing a mask. He's laughing at us. He likes to speed ahead of us, then stand inside a tree and watch us go by, thinking up mischief for us to fall into. Then he flows ahead, like a river, but much faster, up over the hills and lies in wait for us. That felt right, but To Ohm looked at me with such wounded dignity that I almost got confused again. Then he started laughing and dashed off. I wondered some more about him, and one of the other fairies said, he's a fine traveling companion if you have a taste for adventure, bawdy songs, high flights of poetic fancy, and very down to earth observations. A fine, fine fella indeed. Om's boundless curiosity leads him into some strange places, and he is quite happy to take us there with him. Om's wings, like ours, are neatly folded at his back and not readily visible. He is still learning to use them properly and thinks he is better with them than he really is. He wants to encourage us to unfold our wings and doesn't hesitate to lead us into situations where we almost have to fly, metaphorically sometimes, in order to survive. When I was young, I think it was he who encouraged me to climb up lots of trees and high buildings I couldn't easily get down from. And I know it was he who encouraged my son to do similar things. He is fond of children. Like him, they are usually willing to try anything. Well, that really does seem to echo the whole idea that something's coming that is bound to have me stepping into something uncertain, or will be at least an invitation, but I won't be able to know what's happening. Isn't that it? And I think that's true for all of us, by the way. Om has a poetic spirit which involves much more than just the writing of rhymes. It is about being able to see things as they really are, and in that reality to recognize all beauty, even the beauty of necessity and difficulty. This is not an unthinking, reflexive, immature, quote, everything is for the best attitude, but an understanding of the beauty of what we learn from joy and sorrow, from ease and hardship, from pain and pleasure. I think this is also pointing to what I said earlier about how we actually aren't making any mistakes, no matter how we might label it in the moment, that it was a mistake or a wrong decision or whatever that is. Yep. Om also wants to show us how silly it is to be so very solemn about life. He laughs at himself, he laughs at us. Sometimes he laughs so hard he gets cowslip wine up his nose, and then everyone else laughs at him. He doesn't mind that as long as we are laughing. Om is also the young apprentice shaman, barely beginning on the path, but with a boundless interest in all things magical and mystical. He'll try anything and encourage you to do so as well, but you might find it advisable to show a little more sense than he does sometimes. He plays the panpipes, but not very well. He also chases the dryads and has much more success at this. He has a lust for life, wine, females, and song. He claims he was born on the Blarney Stone, which I doubt, and consequently has a wonderful gift for words, which I don't doubt at all. He loves children, he loves children, riders, and blithe, adventurous, uninhibited spirits. He is a storyteller with a great imagination and has the power to inspire others to action with his words. When Om turns up in a reading, his presence suggests that youthful spirits and energy abound. This is the time to do exciting things and to tackle projects you've been wanting to do, but for which you perhaps felt you didn't have the time or energy. Well, that's quite interesting given what we talked about just a little bit ago. It may even be the time to write about them, but you probably need to do them first. Ta'am often shows up in readings for people who have a talent and inclination for writing. So if you're here now, you came here for a reason, and that might be you. Inclination for writing, poetry, adventure, fantasy, or anything else. Possibly the only thing he ever gets very serious about is his writing, and possibly no, and he will spend all the time he needs searching for just the right word. Speaking and writing with conviction and sincerity and the ability to persuade others are indicated by Ta'am's presence, along with an outpouring of ideas. Yeah, I've been loaded with ideas of late, so that's kind of interesting. You may also find yourself thinking about romance and deciding that you want more of it in your life. Well, who don't? Who don't, man? This doesn't necessarily mean looking for someone new. It might well involve putting some romantic fizz into a relationship that has become overly routine. Wow. Okay. That's very interesting indeed. Okay. So our final card is from the Journey of Love deck. Oh, and that came right open to the exact spot. That's very interesting. And it is, this is taking the place of the Rumi Oracle in today's reading because I couldn't decide which one. And this one came out. So, very interesting. Card number 16 is also a 7 numerologically. Okay, two things here for me. Boy, that's a multidimensional card, and it's quite interesting because I didn't see this looking at it straight on, but as I was holding it up, I see an open mouth and a heart coming out of it. Isn't that interesting? Because here's the nose, here's the teeth, and there's the tongue. But I also see other beings too. So isn't that interesting? Wow. You are entering a time in your life where past and future are colliding. Well, I hope that's true. And I hope some of the books that that have disappeared and gone into another timeline that I own, that I have 3 Oracle decks and their books went mysteriously missing. Now, I've had things go missing before and they do show up. So I'm really hoping that because I mean, I don't understand why I have the decks and the books just, how does that even work? So very interesting. In this present moment, you have a powerful opportunity to decide how you wish to continue in a certain pattern of relating or not. This may mean leaving a relationship or starting a new one. Okay, that's interesting too, because I keep being told that at every turn. How about you? Are you being told that in some way or another? Most specifically with this eclipse that has just now passed a week ago, yesterday, right? Very specifically, that eclipse is transiting in my house of the other relationships and being a Libra and all of that. It's all about the other, right? And also I just did that recording about Venus going retrograde. Venus is my ruler, and that's all about examining relationships. Okay, very interesting. So I'm going to read this again. In this present moment, you have a powerful opportunity to decide how you wish to continue in a certain pattern of relating or not. This may mean leaving a relationship or starting a new one, but even if you cannot yet make that decision with peace in your heart, you can still partake of the decision, nope, of the heart of this moment and decide how you shall choose to be. Will you speak? Will you choose to let go of shame and criticism, of judgment and anxiety, of loss and despair, and just be with your own heart now? Oh boy, I made that decision. Trust me. Will you choose in this moment to trust yourself? Wow, that's been echoed in all of these cards. Wow. Even if that trust says you have to wait a while longer before you can make a more long term decision, this is a time when you can alter your future, stepping into relationship with another, with the divine, with yourself in a new way. Even the smallest choice for love is a step in the best direction. You have the heart of the divine within you. It's not too hard for you to choose love. Let go of the people who want you to choose jealousy or fear or doubt. Their games are not nearly as fun. Too true that. Choose love, and who knows, maybe they'll join your party instead. That's true. That's the only way to fly. This oracle brings you a message. You are in a transition zone in your life and relationships. It is one moment that will manifest as many opportunities where one choice will open up many pathways to fulfillment for you. We always have the chance to create our future with our present choices. But at this time, you are in an especially fertile karmic period, having just come out of a cycle of learning and about to enter into a new cycle. Well, that's very interesting, again, given that Venus is in retrograde. Now, it doesn't come out of retrograde till April 13th, but very interesting that this card come right now, specifically. This is a time to be willing to take a chance or a risk to be happy within yourself, no matter what is going on around you. Your life is about to take a karmic turn, and you can feel peace in that knowing. Love provides the opportunity to express the core essence of our very nature. It touches us at a level of feeling beyond the human norm, of a feeling with greater depth, and renders our beings incapable of a feeling with greater depth or wonder. Love is the fabric of life. It is the substance that holds it all together and the magic that opens the unknown. It is the quality that speaks to our soul, that opens our heart, that excites our spirit and allows us in its presence to become something greater than ourselves, something more than we are alone. Holy crap. What a reading today. And then, like I said, these final two here were from the surrender deck that came flying out. Surrender unhealthy relationships Don't you find that sort of interesting that with all these other cards, that one come out? Let go of relationships that don't serve you, including unavailable or toxic people. You deserve to be treasured by others and to be surrounded by positive people. And surrender your belief in scarcity. The universe is asking you to open to the infinite nature of abundance. In this way, you can remove blocks in your life and succeed beyond your wildest dreams. Well, the truth of the matter for me is where this one's concerned, Lisa's guidance really helped me with this one. We have a really screwed up idea of what abundance is on this planet. I mean, really screwed up. We all think that if we got dollarinis in the bank, that that's abundance. Oh, and if I've got a whole pantry stocked full of food, well, that's abundance. But actually, abundance is having what one needs in the moment that one needs it. That is abundance. And that can happen if we trust ourselves and the universe. And I listen, I'm preaching to the choir, I know, because I know this to be true. And yet, that is a programmed condition that I know I'm still unwinding and unbinding within me. And until everybody on this planet really gets the message that we don't have to play with money, that we can do things without money and those middlemen, the banks and all of that mess. I don't know. Hopefully that's why I'm trying to learn how to go with the flow and surrender the belief in scarcity, because things are not scarce on this planet. They are not. And things actually are a little overabundant when you got places like, grocery stores and other places that are throwing things away, throwing food in the garbage. There's not scarcity on the planet. There's an overabundance, and it's greed that keeps it in that way. And hey, I'm not pointing the finger at anybody. That I see me and my overconsumption. Oh, trust and believe. Well, I hope this was helpful for you, whether you hear live or you find this later, or you're watching it live now on New Light Streaming Love, or you're catching it as a recording on Sassy Seer Sheila. And I want to put this call out again. We are going to start this book soon. I want to do this whole series. And even if you read this way back when, which I found out a lot of people did, and I didn't know anything about it. I saw the movie, but I already know, because there's been lots of times in my life where I've read books and then I see the movie and I'm so disappointed in the movie. And that's true of that movie too, from what I understand. But a new day has dawned on the planet. And I know this is fiction, but I cannot help but see, just from seeing the movie, that I feel like James Redfield got a download from source. Just like a lot of people feel that Star Wars is actually a documentary, or The Matrix is actually a documentary. I feel like this is too. And so if you'd like to read this in company with others who are on the path of finding out that we are divinity, I would love to invite you to join us. I haven't, and I'm not opposed to having two groups do it at the same time, one during the weekday and one during a weekend evening. Because I love the idea of this. And so if you're interested in joining the book club, doesn't cost a thing. You just show up and we read it together, and then we stop and have discussion about what we're reading if you feel to, whatever arises. Right now, we have a book group that's finishing up the Kabbalion, and I just adore these groups, and it's something that I hope if you find an interest that you will join us. Like I said, it's free. Send an email to consciousconversationscentral@gmail.com. Put book club in the subject, and also include give at least 2 days of the week or weekend, and include your time zone and what times might work for you, so that I can try to figure all that out and decide whether we're going to do two groups or one group. Or we are going to do this book no matter what. And so I want to start it probably uh, the middle of April. So there's a little bit of time. Um, so that's it for now. I hope that you enjoyed this, got something out of it. Would love to hear from you in the comments or in my email box. And if you would like to join me for a conscious conversation, whether it's recorded and shared or not, if you're having weird dreams that you just don't understand and you want to be a part of the dream space segment that I do sometimes, would love to chat with you. Again, consciousconversationscentral@gmail.com. That's it. I hope that you will continue to move towards that which brings you joy in each moment that presents itself to you. It really is just a matter of perspective and your perception of that perspective. Until we meet again, my friends, be well.